Damon Chief Jones has found himself a little defender. We're gonna go over this. We're gonna have us some fun. It's amazing how you people, really do not know the limits of the transportation code versus what they actually do. Okay. Merb is an idiot from out of state. Okay. He is not an expert on the transportation code in Texas. So, before we go too much further, none of this actually points out to what I got wrong in my reading. I used the definitions provided in the transportation code. The conclusion I came to, which was that you need registration, you need license, comports with reality. People get pulled over and ticketed for not having licenses and not having registrations in Texas. You don't have to be an expert on it. You could read the words. The words were there. If Damon Chief Jones had read the words, he wouldn't have, well, maybe he still would have because he's a charlatan. But if he was honest and he read the words, he would know that he was wrong. If you read the words, you would know you were wrong. Then he says, Eddie Craig from Austin, Texas is. So the very first thing that I found, I'll do it this way so that you can see. The very first result right there. The hoax. And yeah, it's a hoax. I mean, this guy, whoever he is, he went and he finds all the little links and everything, Google Scholars, and you could go through it all. But that's not my point. I don't need to debunk Eddie Craig. Eddie Craig is going to rely on his laurels because the very first thing out of Eddie Craig's mouth is that Eddie Craig is a deputy sheriff. Or retired deputy sheriff. Let's see. Oh, they removed it. Boo. Former sheriff's deputy, former Air Force veteran, and current Rule of Law radio show co-host Eddie Craig. He rests on his authority. I am a former deputy sheriff. I am an expert. I don't buy it. Damon Jones, Chief Damon Jones, is relying on the same thing. I rejected Damon Chief Jones's claim to being an authority. I also similarly reject Eddie Craig's. If you want a real expert on the code, you can find on YouTube under Rule of Law Radio. Merb, why don't you test what you think you know versus Eddie? I don't claim to be an expert on it. If Eddie is an expert on it, then Eddie can point me to case law that says that my understanding of the words as written in the Texas Transportation Code are incorrect. You don't need to debate someone to do this stuff. This isn't a debate kind of thing. If we're talking about the finer point of law as to whether a particular bit of code applies to a specific fact pattern, then maybe we could have a debate. But the statute is in black and white. It's there. The definitions were there. He's on every Monday night, 8 to 10, in the Logos Radio Network. I don't care. Or find him on Facebook. I don't care. What's really funny is you and others never look at the code in its entirety or at the law that set it up in the Texas Admin Code. Why are we talking about the Texas Admin Code? Did you notice that switch? We went from the Transportation Code to the Admin Code. The Texas Admin Code, well, I meant it right here. But the Texas Admin Code is basically the same thing as the CFRs, the Code of Federal Regulations. It's where the agencies make regulations. The Texas Administrative Code is a compilation of all state agency rules in Texas. They're state agency rules. State agency rule writers, in cooperation with the Office of the Secretary of State, have begun the task of organization, etc. The administrative code is promulgated by the agencies, as opposed to the statutes. See, this is the Texas Constitution and statutes. This was written by the Texas Legislative Branch. This was signed by the governor. Everything in here. Everything in here. Everything in the Texas Administrative Code was promulgated by the agencies. So Title 37 was promulgated by the Texas Department of Public Safety did Part 1. And they make their little rules on how they're going to do things. So their organization and administrative rules. Oh, what's their objective? Let's look at their broad objective. The broad objective of the Texas Department of Public Safety is to maintain public safety in the state of Texas. The department works towards the attainment of this objective within existing regulations and in cooperation with other agencies and persons with mutual or related responsibilities. It seeks to preserve the peace and to protect the person's property rights and privileges of all the people in the state of Texas. That's their broad. This is their mission. The mission of the Texas Department of Safety is, number one, to supervise traffic on rural highways. That's number one. Number two is to supervise and regulate commercial and for hire traffic. Notice how they separated that. So they had to supervise traffic and then to supervise and regulate commercial and for hire traffic. It seems like those are two different things, doesn't it? To administer regulatory programs in driver licensing, motor vehicle inspection, and safety responsibility, which is different than regulating commercial and for hire traffic. Crazy. Crazy, I know. The law that set it up are the true intent of this code. Which law set it up? Which law set it up? I don't see anything in here that talks about a law that set it up. Was it House Bill 2304 or something? Government Code 2001, 2002. All right, we'll look at Government Code 2001, 2002. That's fine. I can play that game. Government Code. My dog is snoring. We're going to look at 2001, 2002. I don't know if this goes, wow. 2001 Administrative Procedure, and then the Texas Register and Administrative Code. All right. We'll do this. We'll do this. The purpose, it is the public policy of the state through this chapter to provide minimum standards of uniform practice and procedure for state agencies, provide for public participation in the rulemaking process, and restate the law of judicial review of state agency action. License includes the whole or a part of a state agency unit, certificate, approval, registration, or similar form of permission required by law. Requirement to adopt rules of practice and index rules. And what part of these? Oh, the administrative code means the Texas Administrative Code. Great. Where's the administrative code? Here we go. Publication of the Texas Administrative Code. The Secretary of the State shall compile, index, and publish a Texas Administrative Code. The Administrative Code shall be periodically supplemented as necessary, but not less often than once each year. The Administrative Code shall contain each rule adopted by a state agency under Chapter 2001, but may not contain emergency rules adopted under Section 2001.034. State agency rules published in the Administrative Code is approved by the Secretary of State and is amended by documents later filed with the Office of the Secretary are to be judicially noticed. That just means that a judge will take notice of a statute. You don't have to like prove the statute. They're just like, yeah, it's a statute. They'll do that for these codes as well. They'll be like, yes, I understand that is the current regulation. Done. You don't have to prove anything. And they're prima facie evidence of the text of the rules and the fact that they are in effect on and after the date of notation. Again, I don't know. So I think the problem here, Hawkwind, is that you are relying on charlatans for your information and you never actually looked at what you're claiming. The Texas Admin Code says that the authority given to the Texas Department of Public Safety, are to control commercial and for-hire traffic only. I think we well, first of all, the big error with this is that the Texas Administrative Code says that the authority, so the Texas Department of Public Safety wrote the portion of the Texas Administrative Code that is relevant to the Texas Department of Public Safety. So that's problem number one that you just don't understand. Problem number two, as we've pointed out, their mission is to supervise traffic on rural highways and to supervise and regulate commercial and for-hire traffic. Let's see what kind of programs they have. They have street and highway traffic management, crime suppression, and emergency management. Okay. Nothing in here says that they only deal with commercial. Because like they have stuff on motorcycles. Motorcycles have nothing to do with commercial. Says nothing about the general public. Yes, it does. It said something about the general public. We already been over it. You've seen it. You can just go back in the video and watch it again. Since that is the extent of their authority, it's not. So again, the Texas Administrative Code, number one, doesn't say what you want it to say. And number two, the portion of the Texas Administration Code that's applicable to the Texas Department of Public Safety was written by the Texas Department of Public Safety. Let's see. Let's figure out where we're going to go in here to see where. Will it be in the executive branch, right? Law enforcement. The Department of... Oh, I didn't mean to... I guess I did, actually. We're fine. We're fine. I want this, though. I want you. That's all I really want. All right. The Department of Public Safety of the State of Texas is an agency of the state to enforce the laws protecting the public safety and to provide for the prevention and detection of crime. The department is composed of the Texas Rangers, the Texas Highway Patrol, the Administrative Division, and other divisions that the Commission considers necessary. And that's how the Commission is set up. Training for Commission members. Removal of a Commission member. Duties and powers of the Commission. They'll formulate plans and policies for the enforcement of state criminal, traffic, and safety laws. Congratulations. Duties of the director. nothing in here seems to have limited them to commercial regulation. Use of uniform. Ooh. District headquarters, driver's license facilities. Okay, local cooperation. Great. Sex offenders compliance unit. Oh, these are the guys who'd be dealing with Earl. Vehicle theft checkpoints at border crossings. Nice. Multi-county, yeah. Coordination with the Department of The Department and the Texas Department of Transportation shall establish procedures to ensure effective coordination. And nothing in there is commercial. Oh, it needs assessment for enforcement of commercial motor vehicles. Oh, it shall conduct a long-term needs assessment for the enforcement of commercial motor vehicle rules. Okay, so that's one. Nice. Buildings and equipment, organization, compensatory time, salaries, unauthorized acts, hazardous materials, public complaints. Okay, reproduction of records, disposal of records. Reserve Officer Corps, Department Assistance, International Checkpoints. Oh, the Texas Rangers. Notification, yeah. Subpoenas. Oh, here you go. Powers and duties of officers. In addition to the powers and duties provided by law for the officers, non-commissioned officers, and list persons, they have the powers and authority provided for law enforcement by Texas Rangers. Okay. Okay. Bureau of Communications, Bureau of Intelligence, Bureau of Training, hate crime reporting. I'm not seeing anything in here that says that they're only allowed to deal with commercial. They seem to do a lot of stuff in here that is not at all related to commercial. So I'm going to say probably no. Definitions. Powers and duties of officers. I'm looking for something. Anything. DNA database. License to carry a handgun. Internal oversight. Museums. Good Lord. Scrap metal theft. Prevention of scrap metal theft. That would be the Mexican Padilla subchapter. And then we are out of it. All right, so it doesn't look like it's going to be in the formation. So it's not in the government code. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying this. But apparently I have to do this because what's really funny is that you and the others never look in the code in its entirety or at the law that set it up. I'm doing it and this guy didn't. So there you go. Transportation code. Road laws. Road laws. Our beautification. Vehicles and traffic. See, they have driver's licenses and they have commercial driver's licenses. That should lead you to believe that there is a difference between a driver's license and a commercial driver's license. Rules of the road. Oh. Oh, I think we want to go into here. Arrest and persecution of violators. I wonder who gets to do that. Any peace officer may arrest without warrant a person found violating or committing a violation of this subtitle. And then it tells you who gets arrested and taken in front of a magistrate. If you're arrested on failure to stop in the event of an accident. Notice to appear, person not taken before a magistrate. All right, notice to appear required. Speeding. Oh, look. An officer shall issue a written notice to appear if an offense charged is speeding. Huh. Craziness. Oh, look, it doesn't say anything about applying only to commercial vehicles. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's not the scope of their authority, and the singular agency has sole responsibility to enforce the transportation code. Has a sole responsibility to enforce the transportation code. Really? Not city cops and sheriff's deputies. I think we just saw that, what is this? Is this where I want to be? No. I'm going to close that. Is this where I want to be? Ooh, what's this violation by an officer? Ooh, it's misconduct in office, so they better not do that. We just saw it. We just saw it. Any peace officer may arrest without a warrant a person found committing a violation of this subtitle. And notice to appear, an officer who arrests a person for violation of the subtitle punishable as a misdemeanor who does not take the person before a magistrate shall issue a written notice to appear in court showing time and place. The person is to appear, the offense charged, etc. So any peace officer. So you're wrong again, but I guess I should probably start reading the codes there, Hawkwind. So you're wrong again. That limit, if who the code applies to is established. So to control commercial and for-hire traffic only, we saw that it wasn't. That is further made clear by the statute such as the who the speed limits apply to, which is all commercial entities. What? That's just wrong. That is just wrong. Give me a citation somewhere. Speeding. Where was speeding? We were just looking at speeding. This is retarded. I don't know why I'm doing this. I feel like I'm arguing with a sovereign citizen, because I am. Am I in the right spot? Am I in the right spot? We'll do it the cheap way. An officer shall issue a written notice to appear if the offense charged is speeding. Well, let's look to see signals and markings. Let's do general. Speed restrictions on private roads. Special district, yeah. Limitation on local authorities, KKK. Offensives. A person commits an offense. Okay. 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 Disposition of fines, court costs. I'm going blind looking at this right now. I'm tired. I'm sorry. Uh, hmm. I don't know why I did that. I'm going to do that instead. I can't believe that I'm going out of my way to prove that speeding applies to non-commercial vehicles. Judy in disguise, Judy in disguise, Judy in disguise, with diamonds. Oh, thank God. An operator. All right, so we're looking to see if it's anything about commercial. An operator may not drive a vehicle at a speed greater than is reasonable, prudent. A speed in excess of the limits established by subsection B or under another provision is prima facie evidence. Okay, so now we need to figure out if operator applies only to commercial. So we're going to go back up to definitions. Operator means is used in reference to a vehicle, a person who drives or has physical control of a vehicle. Congratulations, you lose. I can't believe I just took all that time to figure out that speed limits apply to non-commercial vehicles. Texas has no established speed limits for private travelers. Yes, they do. We just showed that. Never has. That's a lie. All legal experts in Texas have said that. Anytime anybody tells you all of somebody does something, they're probably lying or exaggerating. It's always hashtag not all. And you have found one legal expert that says speed limits don't apply. Apparently. I don't know. Does Eddie Craig say speed limits don't apply? By experts, I don't know. It would be odd that if Eddie Craig is an expert because he's an ex-sheriff's deputy, that the Texas Department of Public Safety, who you believe has the sole responsibility for giving speeding tickets, wouldn't be experts, but Eddie Craig somehow would. Isn't that odd? I think that's odd. So that speed regulation is proof on its face of the transportation code's intended application. No, you haven't proven that speed regulations only apply to commercial vehicles. So you failed there. Your argument's done. I could stop reading at this point, but I'll humor you. As stated also, the state troopers are the only ones given the authority to enforce the transportation code in Texas. Again, I've proven that wrong. Now that authority can be delegated to sheriff's deputies in each county with restrictions. I don't know what you mean by that, but we'll keep reading. I don't know where you're going with that. Who's delegating what authority? Authority to do what? 5 deputies per county, 2 alternates who have to enforce the code for motorcycles after being trained and certified by the DPS. Okay. I don't care to look it up. I'm just going to arguendo assume that's true. That's stated in the administrative code, not the transportation code. Well, yeah, because it states in the administrative code that the purpose is to work with, what is it? They're trying to work with other agencies. What was it? Do. I thought I read somewhere in here that they were trying to work with other. Or wait, was it? Oh, I don't want to go all the way back to the Texas codes. God damn it. This is how much I love you people. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying this. And then I need the business and organization codes, I think. Or was it business and commerce? Business and organization, that's right. Here we go. No. Maybe it's business and commerce. Nope, definitely not business and commerce. Oh, I'm lost. I'm lost. I need to find 2001 of the business and organizations code. Or somewhere in there. Where was the... Where was it? Government code. There we go. Business code. God, I'm tired. All right. We're going to do this, though, boys and girls. We're going to do this. To the bitter end, my friends. To the bitter end. All right. Attorneys. No, no, no. Prosecuting attorneys. No, no. Judges. Judicial judges, prosecuting judges, juries, attorneys. We're looking, oh, legislative branch, okay. Executive branch, good, good, good. Okay, all right. Department of Public Safety. And then we want local cooperation. Here we go. The sheriff and constables of each county and chief of police of each municipality are associate members of the department, are entitled to the rights and privileges granted to them by the department. The director may require a sheriff or other police officer in a county or municipality within the limits of the officer's jurisdiction to aid or assist, etc. There are things going on. Anyway. They may require people to assist in the performance of the duty imposed by the chapter. That's stated in the admin code and the transportation code. City police do not and have not ever had authority to enforce the transportation code. That is wrong. That's a lie. In fact, for them to do so can get them criminal charges for acting under color of law. That is wrong. I've already shown that. If Merb really knew what he was talking about, he would know this. Well, I didn't have to know what I was talking about because I can look it up and prove you wrong. If he wanted to test what he thought he knew, he would debate a real expert on the transportation code in Texas. That would probably be an attorney. It wouldn't be an ex-deputy. I don't know Jones, but I do know Eddie Craig, and I know what he says is true because I have applied it. I think you're full of shit. Hat's amazing is how many out-of-state people jump on the bandwagon of a Yankee twit and the ignorance of Texans who lack the intelligence to do a little research. Coming from the guy who got everything wrong. Yeah, pot, meat, kettle. As for the automobile idiot, the Supreme Court ruled on what that was. The Supreme Court ruled on it. Anytime anybody tells you the Supreme Court ruled on something, if they can't cite the case, then you know they're lying. It's household goods, motor vehicle is commercial. It's household goods, motor vehicle is commercial. Whew. I don't have to argue the point since I pulled my car off the state registration. I do not have a license. Like Eddie Craig, I haven't had one in a while. These statutes are for commercial traffic only. But being the bright little cop-sucking attorney he is, he would rather perpetuate a myth instead of the truth. Well, I've shown you all the codes. You are wrong. You're dead wrong. And congratulations on having gotten away with it as long as you have. Soon enough, it'll come home to roost. We've all seen, take 10 minutes out of your day, grab a bag of popcorn, and just watch sovereign citizens with their right to travel nonsense getting their windows busted, getting tased, getting hauled off to jail. It's a sad story, but some people believe it. Anyway, that was your rather belabored and long trip down comments. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.